The following program contains explicit American history. If you suffer from stupidity, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your revisionist historian.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. Men enough to walk his cat. Randall Terry.
I have no joy in my life because the Republicans won. We're going to be in for 2 more years of socialism light. I don't know what to do. In today's program, we'll take a look at President Obama's long and drawn-out blathering press conference. Then we'll take a look at Boehners' history, the guy who wants to be the new Speaker of the House. And then, just to mix things up, I'm going to talk about Michael Pence. I'm going to talk about a real patriot coming into power in Washington, D.C. and throw these sorry bums out right on the heel of the Democrats. Are you hearing me? Today's program brought to you in part by John Boehner for Speaker. Hey, if Nancy Pelosi's socialism was a little too heavy for you, why not socialism light with John Boehner? And brought to you by Mike Pence for Speaker of the House. If you don't want socialism, but you want good old American liberty and patriotism, choose a patriot, Mike Pence. I'll be right back after Jihad Granny and I am going to dismember Obama's stupid press conference. I almost felt like a Muslim there. Jihad Granny.
Allah Akbar. Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so happy to be with you. You know, FBI, they have done drastic things with my boy Farouk Ahmed. They think that he blew up DC metro train with Al-Qaeda. He would never do such thing, except, of course, if it were for self-defense.
But boy, Nancy Pelosi, I just want to rejoice. I want to dance. I want to dance on my desk. She's gone. She'll be gone so soon I can't see her go fast enough. To today's top stories. President Obama faced a fairly hostile press crowd yesterday, and just before he walked off the stage, admitted to getting a shellacking. Oh, shellacking? What does that even mean? It's a good old-fashioned word for butt whooping. But don't worry, Mr. President. John Boehner, Mr. Socialist Light, he's going to be there to help you get along and to work out your agenda for the American people while you roll up your sleeves and work in a bipartisan way to keep the plantation going. Let's look at Mr. Obama's sound bites. And you listen, you watch, and see if they're true or false, if they apply to you or not. And if you're not sure, don't worry. I've got the decoder ring. These. Andrew, play the first clip.
But progress has always come because we've worked at it and because we believed in it, and most of all because we remembered that our first allegiance as citizens is not to party or region or faction, but to country.
Whoa, 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 Mr. President, excuse me, country first? I could be good goose-stepping German, huh? Country first. Or maybe an Italian fascist following Mussolini. Country first. No. You see, he showed the corruption of his intellect, the perversion of his ethics. God first. Then, yourself and your family. Even then, you still have to face God alone someday at the judgment seat. So you put God first and not country first, because if your country is Germany or Italy or, God save us, the United States of America, trying to ship child killing all over the world, You don't defend your country. You defend the laws of God, and you defend human life. Think about it. All right, next clip, Andrew.
Any individual voter yesterday, they'd say, you know, there's some things I agree with Democrats on, there's some things I agree with Republicans on. You know, I don't think people carry around with them a fixed ideology.
Excuse me? Mr. President, I have an ideology. It's called freedom, life, liberty, the pursuit of property. And by the way, folks, President Obama has an ideology. Listen to the next clip just to prove it.
I don't think that you'd have a strong vote for people saying, you know, those are provisions I want to eliminate.
According to exit polls, sir, about 1 out of 2 voters apparently said that they would like to either see it overturned or repealed. Are you concerned that that may embolden those who are from the other party, perhaps?
Well, it also means 1 out of 2 voters think it was the right thing to do.
Ideology. Well, 1 in 2 people says, yeah, we should have health care. 1 in 2 people says, no, we shouldn't. In other words, Mr. President, it's an ideological divide. The next time President Obama suggests, as he did earlier, that, well, everyone doesn't carry around an ideology in their pocket. Yeah, he does. And if he tries to let you think that he doesn't, he is lying through his teeth. If his lips are moving, he's probably lying. Hey, let's watch his lips move again. Go ahead.
I think that what I think is absolutely true is voters are not satisfied with the outcomes. I mean, if right now we had 5% unemployment instead of 9.6% unemployment, then people would have more confidence in those policy choices.
He's right. It only is the outcome that I care about. The ends justify the means. I mean, if we could get unemployment down to 5% or 4%, I'd be a happy slave on your plantation, Mr. Obama. Not. Principle matters, not the outcome. Hey, you know what we should do to get unemployment down to 5%? I just figured it out. Kill the unemployed. They're screwing up the economy. They're sucking the life out of the economy. Kill the unwanted. Kill the useless eaters. Kill, kill, kill. Then the numbers will be where we want them, and we'll all go along with it. Let's watch the next clip. I'm starting to feel like I'm on acid.
When hell freezes over, that they will accept anything remotely like a stimulus bill or any kind of the proposals you have out there to stimulate job growth through spending. Do you accept the fact that any kind of spending to create jobs is dead at this point? And if so, what else can government do to create jobs, which is the #1 issue?
Well, I think this is going to be an important question for Democrats and Republicans. You know, I think the American people are absolutely concerned about spending and debt and deficits.
Did hell freeze over yet? Or can we have more Keynesian economics and the government takes our money to buy jobs for us and gets the whole thing stimulated? Hey, Mr. President, why don't you do something really crazy like reduce taxes and reduce government spending so that I get to keep my money and I spend it in the private sector and it creates jobs because I'm buying stuff. Well, let's go to the president's last quote where he gets a little choked up. He wasn't quite as good as Boehner, but it touched me.
Not only sadness about seeing them go, but there's also a lot of questioning on my part in terms of could I have done something differently or done something more so that those folks would still be here.
Yes, Mr. President, you could have done something different, such as not rammed your godless agenda down our throats. Maybe then your fellow socialists would be present with you. But you know, on second thought, I'm really glad that you did overreach with your agenda and with your ideology and with your lies, because it means that we've at least got a chance to get this country back thanks to you. When you see evil incarnate, you start to long for justice. The problem is, it's John Boehner who's going to slow it down and take us off the cliff anyway. I got to take a break. We'll be right back and talk about John Boehner.
People who say they're atheists are really stupid. If they live their life by that principle, they leave no room for error.
Moments with Moses. And you shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
Welcome back to the program, friend. It is I, your servant, Randall, the philosophical arms dealer for the right-hand side of your brain, because philosophy and ideology and ethics, contrary to what President Obama would tell us, they matter. In fact, they matter more than most things. Which leads me to our next news item, the debacle known as Mr. Boehner. Mr. John Boehner, the bane of the Tea Party movement. He voted for TARP, Troubled Assets Relief Program. He voted for Medicare benefits like drugs for elderly people. He voted for No Child Left Behind. Andrew, I'm going to swing over to that camera. You ready? Oh, no child left behind? But why can't we leave our children behind? They're always in our way. Yeah, you know the problem with these people that give us these massive bloated programs? You want to know what the problem is? They lie. They lie while they tell you the truth. The Patriot Act. Wait a minute. I don't want a microscope shoved up my nose, okay? I don't want to surrender my privacy. But the Patriot Act, who could be against patriotism? No Child Left Behind. If you don't want this program, you are a cruel man and you want to leave children behind. Troubled Assets Relief Program. What? You're against it? Do you want our assets to be troubled? You don't want to provide relief to America's banks? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me is that I don't drink the Kool-Aid that John Boehner is serving up day in and day out. Friends, here's what we all need to understand and accept. John Boehner, who can cry, and I like that. I'm an emotive kind of guy. John Boehner is part of why we're in the mess we're in. John Boehner is a socialist. Don't kid yourself. Now listen, don't be upset with me. He's our socialist. He's a Republican socialist. He's socialist light. Socialism on the half shell. Here, I'll throw you a few shekels back. We're just talking about a matter of degrees. He has voted to indebt our children for these banks and these insurance companies. He is not a Tea Party patriot. And he's poised to become the next Speaker of the House. I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, let you know some stuff that we're about to do here in Washington, D.C. and pose the question, why not pass over John Boehner and look at Michael Pence or somebody with some steel in their backbone and some principle and ethics in their heart? Don't go away. Well, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are people in this world that are committed to taking away your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Geronimo, what do you think about people trying to take away your guns?
I think they can have them. Bullets first.
There are two places where socialism will work. In heaven, where it is not needed, and in hell, where they already have it. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. John Boehner is poised to be the next Speaker of the House. And I'd like to pose this question. Some people want me to pose a question. Hey, if we can redefine terms and not be anchored to any ideology, why can't we do the same thing with words? Let's just make this stuff up as we go. I pose the question, why not Michael Pence? Michael Pence has served as the chairman for the conference committee of the Republican Party. It's basically a party position. It makes him a part of the leadership. He, unlike President Obama, admits to having an ideology, and it's one that the founders of this republic would be proud of. I'm going to read to you a couple of paragraphs from his resignation letter. He's still in the House, but he's resigning as chairman of the conference committee. Hey, listen, if he's going to resign from that position, why not run for Speaker of the House? Listen to his words. Our country is in trouble. A nation conceived in liberty has come of age in bondage to big government. We've lost respect in the world. We are going broke. The American dream dying for millions. And our social and cultural fabric is unraveling. Our people are looking for leaders who will confront these challenges with solutions grounded in timeless American values. My challenge to you as a colleague and a fellow American is this: be bold and courageous. Do not allow political winds to sway you from doing the hard thing and standing up for the basic principles upon which our nation was founded. We have been given an awesome responsibility and a second chance. If we prove to be true to our word and act with courage, the American people will stand with us. Those are ideological words. Those, by the way, are fighting words. My encouragement to you is to put in some phone calls. Say, hey, Mike Pence, why not run for speakership? What I wish he had said in here, I wish he would have said one word about the babies who are being brutally murdered. I wish he had said something about marriage being between a husband and a wife. But the truth of the matter is, he has so many quotes out there defending the babies, so many quotes defending traditional marriage, marriage given to us from God. He will be a champion for the right to life and a champion for marriage. But he's got to run to be speaker. There's some people who think he might run for governor in Indiana, or he might run for senator, or he might even run for president. I don't know. But if I was advising him, Congressman, sir, if you or your staff see this, my advice to you is simple. Get your name out there more. Run for speaker. Even if you don't win. Even if John Boehner wins and you cause a little bit of consternation early on, there's political value in you getting in that fight and showing the differences that exist between the true patriots of the Tea Party movement and the congressmen that have just come into Congress on those winds of change. And there's a difference between them and the old guard like John Boehner, who helped get us into this financial and ethical mess. We are all but shipwrecked as a nation. And John Boehner has been there on the deck, whether in the majority party or in the minority party, and he has been helping take this ship of state onto the shoals of economic and ethical destruction. He is not, in my opinion, fit to be the Speaker of the House. Mr. Pence, let that fight emerge. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, another word from one of our great founding fathers. Go for it. In return for my love, they accuse me, even as I make prayer for them. So they reward me evil for good and hatred for my love. The United States Congress, House Judiciary Committee in 1854 said, had the people during the Revolution had a suspicion of any attempt to war against Christianity, that revolution would have been strangled in its cradle. In this age, there can be no substitute for Christianity. That was the religion of the founders of the Republic, and they expected it to remain the religion of their descendants. You must understand that when this was written, Christianity, as they understood it, as we do today, comprised people of countless, almost, streams of Trinitarian Christianity. It meant people who believed in the Old and New Testament, whether 73 books or 66. It meant people who believed in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, that Jesus of Nazareth was the Son of God, God the Son, the second person of the Trinity. But it wasn't simply their religion that held them together, because their religion on many smaller issues was severely divided. You understand what I'm talking about? Denominations. What they're talking about in this passage is the ethical framework for our nation. The philosophical, the cultural, the theological, the political underpinnings of this republic are directly connected to Christian ethics, found in the Old and New Testament, found in the words of Moses and the words of Christ. And if we are going to restore this republic, if the Patriot Tea Party movement is going to be successful, it will be because we demand that our political leaders return to the ancient paths. God bless you.